Hello and welcome to this video / podcast recording. I am Marina from the School of Growth, and today I have with me Caitlin Eichperger, who is also actually works a little bit through the School of Growth and also has her own business, which she will tell you more about in a second. And what we're going to be discussing today is an amazing program that we offer at the School of Growth for people who want to become transformational, world-class coaches. Not just accountability coaches, not even mindset coaches, and not even NLP coaches. We have what I believe to be the deepest dive, the widest spectrum of modalities that get taught. We work on the physical body, the subconscious mind, and the energetic field of a human to create lasting transformational change. And nothing lights me up more than sharing all of this wisdom with the next, I suppose, ripple, if you will, of leaders who are here to help other people step into their higher selves and do that in their own unique way. And so this video is really for anyone who's been thinking about it or is curious about either becoming a coach or looking at the certification for their own personal development and wants to know what it's about. So we're going to talk to Caitlin about her story, her journey through it, why she did it, what she was perhaps worried about, what she was seeking, and how it's gone for her. So Caitlin, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So for people listening, what was going on in your life before or in and around when you started Whole or thought about doing Whole?
Well, look, I had actually done 2 Dream Builder programs by then, which is actually, the second one is what sparked my I want to be a coach. And I actually remember that I was like, I need to start looking into coaching courses because I know I want to be a coach. I know I want to help people. So at this point in time, I was a fitness instructor and personal trainer. And I was like, I know I want to help people with more than fitness. I want to help them, with everything really. And so I had the thought, and then not even a couple of days later, Marina's like, comes to me, she's like, hey, I'm going to do a coaching course. And, these are the details, going to offer it to you. And if you're keen, let me know. I was like, oh, yes.
Yes, well, that's right. So you're jogging my memory because actually you were on our flagship. You were on the first one because I actually invited a very close circle of people that I knew wanted to next level their leadership skills or their own personal development and or who I knew had already expressed interest in being a coach. And so I deliberately reached out for that, let's call it the beta program. And so yes, you said yes, which I was stoked about. And that was a really special intake and a special, a special cohort.
It really was.
And so what would you say when I offered that to you, and I know you had just said you were looking for it, but was there any part of you that was maybe a little resistant, or what fears did you have about doing the course? And what kind of made you decide, you know what, I'm going to do it?
Yeah, well, look, I mean, my biggest block or resistance that came up was money. And I just... If I'm honest, I just knew how badly I wanted to become a coach. I knew that it was something that I wanted, and so I made a way, kind of thing. I think my other fears were around like, would I be a good coach? Can I like I guess all the usual
can I do it?
Self-doubt. Yeah, like can I do this? Can I make this successful? Yeah, like, will I even be a good coach?
Will I make money as a coach is often one that people think,
Yeah, definitely.
And so what was there something in you that what kind of got you to go, you know what, yes, I'm going to invest that money. I'm going to dedicate myself to this learning. What was the tipping point?
Do you know what? I think I just said yes before letting that take over.
Yeah. Okay. So you just were like, I'm in.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, this is a container really like no other. So what happened for you during Whole?
Oh my God. So
what was the biggest aha or the breakthrough or the awareness? How would you share the experience?
The experience of Whole was like, just like, I don't even know how to describe it because it was just incredible in terms of the work that you're doing. Like obviously to go through these processes, you practice on each other. So you are doing the work on yourself while also like learning how to use the tools. And
which means what?
which means that there were so many shifts. Yeah, so
you are essentially getting coached with the tools that you're learning as a client,
which means practicing them.
So it's a massive up level of your system.
Yeah. Oh my God, yes. Like I cleared. I remember just one weekend we did this one particular tool, and I was the person that they demonstrated on, and I cleared something that I was holding shame on for 2 years. Like it was gone. And the shifts that happened immediately after that, because this was actually to do with a relationship with someone, and the shifts that happened in that relationship as a result was just astounding. Like I without going into detail, it cleared so much for me. It brought awareness to so much for me. And the thing is, by that time, I'd done Dream Builder twice, and I already had a pretty good level of self-awareness, but there's always more.
Yeah.
And it just, it allowed me to process and move through and become aware of a lot. And just the shifts were amazing.
And so when we talk about shifts for someone who's maybe new to personal development, that could mean, you can feel free to add, but the way I would add this is, or the way I would speak into this is, when we talk about shifting, we can be talking about shifting the weight of something we've been carrying unnecessarily. We can talk about shifting a ceiling up or taking a floor up. So, really it's more a capacity thing. You're going to expand it all outwards. But when we shift something, we change how we relate to it in a way that is more expanded, more available, and we code in safety into that experience, which means that your body, your life is now free to go and do it. So those are the things when we talk about creating shifts that we're talking about. It's not that you're morphing into something you weren't. It's just that it's now safe to play and to be in new ways. Would you agree?
That was actually a really great description of it.
And the coolest thing about Whole, I think, is whilst you are learning the tools of a professional coach, and you are learning how to sit with someone and how to hold space, whilst the intention for many people is to learn that from coach to client, the truth is it can't, I don't know if you found this, but it can't not change how you relate to your husband and listen and hold space. And it can't not change how you relate to people you work with, or your friends, or your mom and your dad, or you going on this journey essentially changes your entire life, because your relationships are forever shifted.
And I actually want to speak into that. I saw shifts within my family. I saw shifts in my mum and my God, it's actually making me a little bit emotional. But I saw shifts in my mum and my nana as a result of the shifts and the change in the way that I related to myself, because it kind of showed them, I guess. And a lot of what I shifted was stuff that they were carrying.
And that you had been carrying. So that's
oh my God,
thank you. That's beautiful though. And one of the things that we cover very in depth, in particularly aspect 2 of Whole, which is not covered in the majority.
You okay?
Just around 8 minutes we need to
8.5.
So one of the things that we cover in Whole, which a lot of coaching certs just don't, because it is a specialized field, is a healing modality known as family constellations and family systems. And so what that is working on is the fact that energetically we have downloaded, you could call it, or simply chosen to carry baggage, wounds, beliefs, sufferings from generations past. And when we do the work on them for ourselves, and this is why I always say, if you're a parent or if you've got stuff in your family, if you do the work, you don't even need to tell your family about it. You don't need to go and coach them. In fact, don't even try to do that. But the shifts ripple into the field, because it is a fallacy. And when you do a program like this, you'll no longer believe this fallacy, but it is a fallacy to believe that we are separate. Any of us. We are all interconnected. We live in one big soup, and that is especially true of your family units. So many people do not have happy families. I'm not saying that you didn't see, but just if you're someone listening is like, well, I know I got family stuff. Sometimes doing healing in that space just allows everything else to unhinge and to be accessed and processed far more easily, which is why we do the work into aspect 2 and Whole, because yes, you can do a lot by changing your belief structures and working in the unconscious mind, but there's even more that we can release, and more life force energy and more liberation can be found when we heal the system from which we, came through, the family, and when we work into our field, both somatically in the body and energetically. And I know for some people listening, that's like, what is she talking about? And it's okay. Like, if and when that's something that you're open to, it's available and we go there.
Yeah.
But yes, thank you for sharing that. It is a powerful portal. And what happened for you as a result? Like, once you got trained as a coach, what has shifted in your life?
God, I don't even know where to start because so much. One of the biggest shifts I would say is the way that there's definitely the shifts in the way that I relate to, the people in my life. I am a lot more open, a lot more connected to the people in my life. And I also am a much more effective communicator. And another great thing that happened as a result of the coaching was this full, I guess, and I'm human, so it still comes up. Like, I'm not perfect at this, but I have a lot more compassion and understanding of, I guess, people. So, when things would usually trigger me, like I am able now to have a lot more compassion and understanding for other perspectives, for other people. One of the biggest shifts, I think, has been in relationships, and this has slowly been something that has shifted since, doing my first Dream Builder with Marina. But I think Whole was one of the things that really, really created a huge shift in the, I guess, romantic aspect of my life. And, I've gone from my ex-partner calling me Robocop because I was so cut off and disconnected and I won't say unemotional. I had emotions, but just not connected with them. And now I'm in this beautiful relationship that is so open, so vulnerable, so intimate. And I've also gone from, with my ex-partner, I was the masculine in the relationship, to now actually being in a beautiful dance of masculine and feminine with my partner. So just completely shifted that.
And so they're the things that have happened to you probably on a personal level, which is another great reason to consider doing a deep dive coaching. When I first did my coaching certification many years ago, I didn't even know what a coach was. I just thought it was a funky name that they put in the title of this program. Anyway, crazy. But as a result, it rippled into, I did all the updates in my system. And then of course it aligned me even more with my destiny and my purpose and my path. And, of course that led to being a coach. And then longer term, the reason I ended up creating the coaching certification was because after so many years, I would have people saying, Em, I want to get can you coach me to be a coach like you? Because I did definitely deviate from, I suppose, the classical or more, let's be honest, more masculine forms of coaching, which were accountability, goal setting, and NLP. And I definitely fused that with a lot more of the energetics and the somatics through my, my own personal healing after things that occurred in my life. And so, I think Whole is this beautiful fusion of really tangible strategic tools and very clean processes, and then a little bit of the woo, or a lot of the woo, really. But you can take and, use as much or as little as you like of each of them. So you personally went through that update just like I did. But what about professionally? Obviously now you are a coach, you do not work in the fitness industry anymore. And you work, I'm lucky enough to get you to work with me as well as do your own stuff. But what's that like now, having, I suppose, a career that's one you wanted, or that you consciously chose, and you get to choose what you speak on? What's that really like? Because a lot of people listening, as you know, don't like their jobs, but feel like they don't have, quote unquote, any other choice.
Yeah, well, look, I actually, it blows my mind sometimes just the fact that I get to do what I do for work. I can honestly say that is actually, and I can't believe I didn't even think about the shift of my career. Didn't even come to mind when you asked that question, but I loved fitness and it did light me up, but it wasn't what I consciously chose. I can honestly say that it wasn't what I consciously chose. I kind of just fell into it. And it was perfect because it led me to Marina, which led me to Dream Builder, which led me to coaching. So it was all perfect, but fitness was definitely the career that I was really good at. You know, got to the point where I could like make classes up as I went, kind of thing. And like, yes, I was like nailing it, but it wasn't lighting me up anymore, or at least not, it wasn't fulfilling me. It felt great, like it felt okay, but it wasn't fulfilling me. And stepping into coaching was like that. Like I am just 100% clear that is my purpose. That is what I am here to do. And so to be doing that, to be in the, like, it's just, I can't, like I said, it's, I say this a lot, so I need to stop saying that I can't put it into words. I can put it into words. It is just pure bliss. It is pure bliss.
And, you know, for people listening who are like, well, what does a coach do? Like, I mean, it's probably a good thing to share that yes, you can do one-on-one coaching, but you have also run experiences, you've run retreats, like you get to kind of, for anyone listening, it isn't always just, well, these days, you know, Zoom sessions, although it can be, but you have taken your skills and really, a bit like me, we like a bit of variety, right?
Yeah. So like one of the beautiful things about this day and age is, like, you know, people are a lot more open to doing online than they were a couple of years ago. So I've worked with people in Switzerland, you know, via Zoom. I've worked with people in Canada, like you get to work with people all over the world now. And so, you know, and that's been one-on-one. It's also been through live programs, and then you can also create evergreen programs. So these are the ways that I've done it. Like, you know, I've got one-on-one, I've got live programs that I run, I've got, like, you know, in-person events and retreats that I've run. And then I also have evergreen programs, so people can actually do that program whenever they want. And it's one of the ways that you get to also just make money without
leverage your time.
Without ever really doing anything except creating it.
And, you know, this is one of the cool things I love about Whole is if you do the third aspect, which is, you know, the final of three. So aspect one is mindset, NLP, timeline, you know, beliefs and fundamentals of coaching. Aspect two is we have our energetics, family systems, somatics,
super juicy.
body mind mapping. Yeah, mine too. Can you tell? And then actually I would say also aspect three is a favorite, because aspect three is where, you know, the over 2 decades worth of entrepreneurship, branding and launching businesses, which I have, you know, a wealth of experience in. I get to do that with these amazing, now skilled, newly aligned with their life purpose humans. And, you know, I suppose the art is alignment always. So it's finding, you know, what's the message? Like Caitlin is an expert in, you know, your inner critic and body confidence and self-confidence. And that's what she's now niched into. And yet she has the same skill set as other graduates of her cohort. And some of those have specialized in, you know, sexuality or shadow work. Other people are working and, you know, with business and, you know, money mindset. So these tools can be worked into any different area, because you're always forever just working with the human, and then you'll layer your natural story and your gifts on top of it. So the niche you go into gets to be beautifully aligned for you, and then the way you deliver that information and support your clients is up to you. We have some coaches who have never done one-on-one, because they do one-on-one in the program and, you know, through their learnings, but their money comes through group coaching, and whether that's live containers, as in live online programs, or whether that's live in the room programs, or whether that's evergreen programs, which means it's just automated and people can buy it anytime. And so we teach you all of these different, I suppose, options. And sometimes you'll try them on and decide it's not for you. And sometimes you'll know automatically, listen, I've got 4 kids at home, I just want to do it this way. Or I'm only going to be part-time. Or you just, it's really gets to be an alchemy of your preferences for your lifestyle, for your desired income, and for what lights you up. I mean, I think perhaps because of our similar backgrounds in fitness, which has always been face-to-face, we have, maybe more than most people, a real love and draw to in person. I would say, you know,
I think I'm always going to be a lover of in person. which is funny because previous me was so resistant to connection, but I love the connection that you get in person.
And it's so real time.
Yeah.
You know, it's so immediate, the impact and the felt sense.
Yeah.
So okay, for someone who is, you know, sitting there going, well, I don't know if I could be a coach, or isn't the world full of coaches, or that's a lot of money, or that's a lot of time, or what if I suck at it, or like the million of stories, because trust me, you know, I've heard them all. But something has made them watch this far into this video. Just FYI, if you've watched 20 minutes into this video about this coaching program, you're called and you should just do it. But what would you say to someone who is like, oh, should I or shouldn't I?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, what would you say?
Yeah, well, look, this is gonna sound kind of similar to what I was saying before, but like if you feel the slightest call to do it, like I would just listen, and I would, like, obviously the best thing about, you know, this is that you get to speak to someone who's already done it before, like, you know, when you're getting some information about this, but like there's the least that you're going to get out of this is your own personal growth and your own, I guess, inner working kind of thing. Like, you are going to create so many shifts. You are going to, you know, I guess, dissolve so many blocks. And so if the least, like that in and of itself makes this course worthwhile. And then the tools that you learn are like no other. Like, the reason that I chose this course over, you know, the ones that I was looking into is because the other ones were just so surface level. It was so, like you said, masculine. It was NLP and, like, you know, life coaching. This is 1 million times deeper.
Do your life wheel.
Like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And this was just like a fusion of everything and more. Like everything and more, because, you know, like, I honestly don't think that there is another coaching course out there that delivers what this course delivers.
Yeah, well, thank you. And, you know, I guess that's the part of me that is always a little bit obsessed with learning more. You know, that's the forever student in me. But what I think that when I think back, especially to that first cohort, what lit me up the most and has ever since is, you know, I spent a lifetime obviously learning what I've learned, but I spent over 10 years especially delving into healing modalities. And I spent a lot of money doing that and a lot of time, and some just work better than others. And so for me, it was really distilling down and bringing the best of all of the bits so that someone else doesn't have to go and do 10 years feeling their way through, and they can just get this immediate toolbox. So I get thrills from that because, you know, I know you wouldn't know it just looking at us, but actually I'm a lot older than Caitlin. Actually, sometimes it shocks me how much older than Caitlin I am, given the things that go down in our conversations on the daily. However, my point simply being that I think to myself, what I wouldn't give to know what she knows at the age that you are. Like, I look back and I think previous me, I had to wait a lot longer and work a lot harder to have that level of consciousness. And part of me can be really pissed about that, I'll be honest, there are days, but mostly I'm like, fuck yeah, that's my contribution to humanity, is let me just quantum leap it for you. And so the other thing that I would say, you know, I know you're like, you know, if you feel called, do it, which I think is a great answer, is really give yourself a hot second to drop in and go, what do I really want for myself in my life? Like, if I let go of it's too hard to change, if I let go of I spent this long in this career, if I let go of what everyone else would think, if I let go of what if I fail, like if I just let go of all of that and I just drop right into my heart and my soul, is this what I'm called into? Is this what my soul wants? Whether it's to be professional or simply just to dive deeper than most people will ever dive into how and why we work the way we work and what's possible for us. If there's a part of you that's called to it, lean in. Because we have had, and I just want to be really transparent, we have had lots of people who go through this program and do not coach. They do not identify as a coach or coach, and yet maybe in their management role at work they use these tools, maybe in the bedroom at home they use these tools, maybe they just totally shifted how they relate to their life and they experience more of the feelings they want because they became masterful at their system. And none of those things is any less valuable than being a coach. So aspect 3 is the only part that preps you to brand yourself, position yourself, market yourself, niche yourself, price point, create programs and packages. We do all of that in aspect 3. But 1 and 2 is all about you and using amazing tools for transformation. So I just wanted to say that, sorry, but C, well, not sorry. Yeah, is there anything else you want to finish off with that you might want to add to anyone or just share before we wrap this up?
Yeah, look, I just I would like to kind of like piggyback off what you just said, and this course has honestly impacted like my entire life. And so I guess what I'm trying to get at is like, even the way that I now communicate is so much more effective, and the way that I'm also able to say help, my friends as they're navigating something, and not in a way where I'm coaching them, but literally just in a way where like I'm able to show up for them in a different capacity and hold them in a different capacity. Like even if you just wanted to get out of this being a better leader in some way. So like you said, whether it's at work, maybe you have people who come to you for things. Maybe you are a leader at work. Maybe it's a leader as a parent. Maybe it's a leader like as a friend. Maybe it's a leader of yourself, but just if there is a part of you that wants to become a better leader in any way, this is like the perfect course, because like you said, you kind of understand yourself more, which the reflection of that is you also understand humans more. And so you are able to work with humans on a much better, more effective level. Yeah,
amazing. So if you would like some more information about Whole, if you would like to have a chat with one of our amazing, coaching team, then make time for a call, request the curriculum, do your due diligence, but most importantly, dial inwards and feel what's right for you. And if it's a yes, communicate to us and we will help you make a way out of no way if that's what's needed. We will meet you where you're at. If this is what you're called to do, we'll be a stand with you and for you so you can step in. Thank you so much for joining us today, and head to the website theschoolofgrowth.com.au for more information.